The California Reparations Task Force identified one recommendation that all children across the state of California be exposed to a Black Studies curriculum. And so what you're observing today is creating opportunities for Black children, Latinx children, white children, Asian American children to celebrate Black people.
Part of what we did was we invited community educators. Community educators, some of whom were parents. We invited classroom teachers, once again, who are also parents. And we also invited high school students to be part of creating this curriculum. I came to the project when the Reparations Committee came and asked myself and my co-PI, Travis Bristol, to think about how we go from a report, a really important report with lots of historical information, data, facts, to a document that would live. In many ways, I jumped at the opportunity to participate in not just thinking about the harms, right? I think the report is very much not just about the harms, but certainly establishing the why of why do we need reparations, and then moving to what does repair look like? What does it look like to have Black flourishing? What are the policies, the curriculum, the education that would actually lead to Black flourishing?
I would tell the next group of educators who might do something similar to dream really big and then figure out the pieces you need to make that happen rather than trying to look out and say these are the pieces we have and so therefore our dream should be X big, right? It's, in our perspective, it was being able to say, we've been asked to develop a Black Studies curriculum for the state of California. How big can we think? Then figure out what resources do we have to get to that, and then just keep lobbying for more resources to get to that big picture. Because on the other end of this are students. We name it as our future, but for me, it's just important to see them as youth, as students. They deserve the big dreams. And if we can't show them that we're willing to dream big with our own curriculum, how do we expect them to solve the big problems of today and tomorrow?
I decided to participate in the California Black Studies Curriculum Development Project because I'm a mom first of a 14-year-old brilliant, amazing girl who is one of a few in a school district that's predominantly white. She's been othered, and I wanted to do my part so that she's more reflected in curriculum that we start teaching in schools.
My hopes for this project is that it will amplify the knowledge and the expertise of Black educators, that it will amplify the brilliance of Black studies, Black Americans, to remind everyone that Black studies, Black history is American history, and that it will rejuvenate classrooms as students see themselves represented in the lessons that they experience. I've been teaching students, Black students successfully for more than 25 years. And so I thought it would be wonderful to have an opportunity to share what I know to be true about Black studies and Black students, and to also learn from other educators.
This was a space in which people came to it voluntarily. They were all excited about the content. All of us, I think, have a lot of passion about thinking about the realities of Black history.
It has felt healing to versions of myself that have gone through the California education system, as well as, I'm getting emotional, as well as the many Black students that I have worked with, cried with, laughed with, celebrated with, when they reach that final goal, who have struggled through an educational system that hasn't loved them back. I know that our Black educators in California want to see our Black students succeed. And I know that there are so many others who are excited about seeing not only Black students, but all of our students succeed and reach that end goal.
I would like to tell the next group of educators to be liberatory educators, to be liberatory leaders, to think that they are liberating the minds of our youth. And so to not only have fun with it, but to think critically, we're taught to be critical thinkers, but to be also creative thinkers.
I also just think it's important for researchers who are at the university level to be constantly in touch with what's happening at in schools. I am hopeful that people who are interested in deepening our understanding of what Black Studies is, educators who are excited about collaborating with other people across disciplines. Like I want to learn more about environmental science. I want to think about environmental science through a Black Studies lens. There's so much possibility for that, but it doesn't happen if you're siloed inside of a classroom. I feel incredibly blessed to be a part of this project. I feel like I am learning from each and every person who is a part of this project. I feel a deep level of respect for the work that teachers have done as part of this project. They've worked really hard to design modules for a curriculum, to try it out, to test it out with their students, to see how it lands, and to come back and revise it in conversation with others. So that is the part that is, I think, the most rewarding to watch happen, and it's a collective experience.
My grandparents were educators in California, and I know they'd be really proud, and I know this is something they'd want to exist. So I feel like I'm honoring their legacy by doing this work.
My first time actually even coming into like a Black Studies curriculum or learning about it, I was a sophomore in college. So the only things I learned about, if they were extra beyond, Martin Luther King Jr. or Rosa Parks or Harriet Tubman, was something that I had to research on my own or would talk about in my family. I just think about what it might have inspired me to do or to be if I had learned about that from the teachers who I love so much. And they never really talked about that or what was possible. And I don't want any other child to go through something like that. We see so much of, certain groups of people in our history, in our courses, in everything. And just to be able to see yourself in something that is this important and this amazing is something that I think will impact children in positive ways for the rest of their lives. Not just Black kids, but all kids.